Thank you to viewer Emma for sending in this story. It all started one autumn evening. A typical night with Max, my golden retriever, curled up at my feet as I settled down to watch TV. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, something shifted. His normally warm golden eyes darkened, and he began to stare at me with an unsettling intensity. I brushed it off at first, convincing myself it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But as the days turned into weeks, I noticed a pattern. He would sit by the window for hours, head tilted, watching the street as if he were waiting for something, or someone. Then came the growling. It was low and guttural, emanating from deep within him, a sound I had never heard before. It didn't come when strangers approached or during the storms that rattled our windows. It came in the dead of night, slicing through the silence like a knife. I'd wake up, heart racing, to find him standing at the foot of my bed, staring into the darkness, growling softly as if something lurked just beyond my vision. One night, I caught a glimpse of him in the bathroom mirror. He stood behind me, but the Max I saw wasn't my dog. His posture was rigid, and his eyes, oh, those eyes, were filled with a darkness that chilled me to my core. I turned quickly, but he was just a few feet away, wagging his tail innocently. I blinked, trying to shake off the image, but the feeling of dread settled in my stomach. Then came the night I returned home to chaos. The living room was in disarray, cushions ripped apart, and Max sat in the center, panting heavily. His eyes were fixed on a corner of the room, unblinking. I felt a shiver run down my spine. "Max, what's wrong?" I asked, my voice trembling. But he didn't respond. It was as if he was in a trance. That night, I couldn't sleep. The growling resumed, more intense than ever, punctuated by a strange whimpering that made my skin crawl. I lay frozen in bed, listening as it escalated into a frenzied bark, and then silence. I got up, heart pounding, and tiptoed down the hallway, the house feeling eerily still. As I approached the living room, I found him standing at the window, a dark silhouette against the pale moonlight. "Max, come here," I shouted, but he didn't move. Instead, he let out a low growl, deep and resonant. I felt a primal fear surge within me as I glanced outside, catching a glimpse of a shadow moving through the trees in the park across the street. It was vague and menacing, as if beckoning him. "Max, please," I cried out, desperation clawing at my throat. But he was too far gone, bolting toward the door with a frantic energy that felt unnatural. I rushed to stop him, but he pushed against me with a strength I had never seen. In a moment that felt surreal, he burst through the door, racing into the night. "Max!" I screamed, but he was already